Okay. All right. Once again, good morning to everybody. In today's class, we'll continue from where we stopped. We started with the HDFS components. What are the different HDFS components? It is mainly like we have the name node, which works as the master, and we have the different data nodes which work as a slave. And name node will have all the metadata, and all the data nodes will have the actual data that is stored, and the information about what is stored where. Okay. And their mapping, all that information will be available with the name node as a metadata, and it will be in the memory. Okay. And since it is in the memory, it can become a single point of failure. To make sure that we don't have a single point failure, whatever the current state that is available is also stored in the file called as fs image, that is stored in the permanent storage. And there would be another file which is a edit file, and what edit file will have is whatever the changes that are happening to the data, that particular information will be in the edit file. Okay. So that is how in the event of any failure, it can be recorded without any loss of data. So how it works is the different components here is we have the client. Client is the one which wants to read or write the data into the HDFS. Whenever it wants to read or write, whenever it wants to perform those operations, it will interact with the name node saying that it wants to read or it wants to write data. Then name node will know where that particular data would be. Okay. Because it has the mapping. From the mapping, it will look up which nodes, data nodes are having that particular data. That information is shared with the client. That in data node information is shared if it is a read. And if the client wants to write, then name node will identify how many blocks are required, which data nodes and how many blocks are required. That particular information is given to the client, and once the client has that information, the client will directly communicate with the data nodes for the read operation or the write operation. And if it is a read, it will read, and then once all the reading is complete, then it will intimate the name node that operation is complete. And if it is a write operation, then it will write into the nodes what is given, and according to the number of replications. So replication is what? Keeping multiple copies of the same data. That particular thing will be done. Once the replication is complete, data node acknowledges the client that the replication is complete. Then client intimates the name node saying that the operation is complete. So the name node will come to know that that particular operation is completed, and it will release the resources. And during the operation of read and write, let us say some of the data node fails, and then there will be a difficulty in doing the read or write operation. What the name node will do is, once it gives the information to the client for read or write, it will start monitoring those nodes. It will check their heartbeat and make sure those are working until the operation, read or write operation, is complete. If there is any failure during the read or write operation, then it will know which is the alternate node that has that kind of a data. It will get that data node information to the client, so that the client can restart whatever the operation it is doing. So that is how it will take care of the if there is a failure during the read or write operation. And we have a secondary name node which will work as a backup node or a checkpoint. What it will do is, whatever the state, the present state which name node is holding on its memory, means the information, it is a yesterday we talked about data of data. It is called as a metadata is data about data or data of data. So what is that is which what blocks, and what data nodes, what information is stored, and what is the mapping. all that information will be with the name node on the memory, and also that information will be available in the fs image file, and there is an edit file which will have the all the changes. Secondary name node, time to time what it will do is it will access the both the fs image and the edit file, and it will join both, and it will update the fs image, and it will put it back to the name node. So by doing that, the fs image file will have the all the latest changes. And in the event, let us say there is a failure of the name node, whenever name node restarts, what it will do is it will take the fs image, okay, it will load onto the memory, and then it will replay the edit file. It will replay the edit file so that it can get the current state when before, just before the failure. That is how like no information, no data is lost. So this is the same thing. The client will communicate to the name node, asking where do I how do I read or write the data. Then name node selects the data node, okay, and determines how many blocks, and it passes that information, assign data nodes to read or write the data. And once client knows the data nodes and the number of blocks in case of the write operation, then it will directly interact with the data nodes, read or write the data in one or more data nodes that is assigned by the name node. And the replication also, depending upon a number of blocks and amount of replication. Replication will is decided upon how many data nodes are there. If data nodes are more, 8 or more, then 3 copies of the data is kept. If it is 8 or less than 8, 2 copies of the data is kept. Okay, depending upon how many nodes are in the cluster, name node will attempt to write replicas of the data blocks on nodes that are in other separate racks. Okay, if possible, we discussed about this. If how it will choose the data node. The data node choice will depend on it wants to keep as different locality as possible. So if there are many racks, it will choose the different racks, data nodes on the different racks. If there is only one rack, whole cluster is on one rack, it will choose a different server, okay, where the data node is there. So that is how it will make sure that in the event of any data node failure, complete data will be retrieved back. Okay, then data node acknowledges the file block replication complete. Then client closes the file and informs the name node that operation is complete. So this is how the interaction among the different components takes place. And this is once name node gives the data node as well as the how many blocks are required to the client. Then client will directly start conversation with the client. The client and the data node, they will start the conversation. During that time, the name node will monitor the all the data nodes by checking the heartbeat signal. And in case of any failure, okay, it will suggest the client to use different data node and begin re-replicating the missing blocks. So that is how it will take care. Failed data node can be taken offline. So if failed data, if is not able to recover, if there is a big problem, it can be taken out of the HDFS full by informing the uh, name node. Then storage of metadata. Whenever data is getting stored on the data nodes, so how much blocks of data is stored, that particular information each of the data node will give to the name node as a report. Okay, so once the information about how many blocks are getting changed or how many blocks are getting added, that information is received by the name node. It will update its metadata, so that it will have the exact current status. Name node updates mappings between the data blocks and physical data nodes, and for performance reason keeps this mapping in its memory and not in persistent storage. So I told you all this metadata is resides in the memory, so that it is faster. It will not be in the persistent storage. And name node has two disk files to track all the changes. Even though we have a information that is in the memory, also a copy is kept it in the disk, because in case of a failure we can recover from the failure point. For that we have fs image, an image of the file system, current state, and the edit file, which has a series of modification done to the file system. And we know the secondary name node, what is its job. Periodically it checks the status of the name node. That is first thing. Second thing is it will download fs image and edit file periodically from the name node, and it will merge and make the fs image as a current, and it will upload it back to the name node. So summary of HDFS, it uses master slave model designed for a large file reading and streaming. Name node is a metadata server or a data traffic cop. Okay, so name node, it will make sure that whatever the activities has to be done, it will manage all those activities. Okay, it will not store the actual data in it, but it will have the information about where the data is stored. It provides a single namespace managed by the name node. Data is redundantly stored on data nodes because there are multiple copies of the same data. Secondary name node performs checkpoints of name node file system's state. Now HDFS block replication. So as we said, like HDFS system, it will keep multiple copies of the same data, and how many copies? It is a configurable item, but by going like the general rules, if there are more than 8 nodes, there will be 3 copies. If there are like 8 or lesser nodes, it will be 2 copies. And if it is a single machine, like us, like we are installing the HDFS system in our own laptop or desktop, then it will have the replication factor is only 1. Means the copies don't there won't be any multiple copies, there will be only one copy. And if a file size is 80 MB, if it has to be returned to HDFS, so the block sizes, the blocks that will be created would be 64 MB. I told you the block size by default it is 64 MB, and it is configurable. If you want to change, you can change it. So by default it is 64 MB, and whatever is the rest memory that is left out, that is 16 MB, it will make another block. So this is a example of the replication, how the replication is done in the HDFS. So what on the top, what you are seeing is a data file. Okay. Okay, this is the data file. This is the complete data file. So that data file, in this particular case, you can see it would require 5 blocks and each of 64 MB. And this particular cluster has 8 nodes. Okay, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 data nodes. So here the number of copies that are kept is a 2. So every block will be copied onto 2 data nodes. So total data nodes, how many are available? 8 are there. When suppose a client wants to write this particular file into the HDFS, when the write operation being done, so replication is here is set as 2, means there would be 2 copies. Each of the block will be copied onto 2 different data nodes. For example, the first block is copied onto this data node, and also you can see there is a copy on this particular data node. Similarly, the 2 is copied in this data node as well as this data node. And this particular block 3, you can see there is a 1 copy, 2 copy, and 3 copy. Sorry, there are 3 copies. Since there are 8 nodes, they have selected 3 copies of the block. Uh, this block is copied in this data node and this data node, and 2 is in this data node and this data node. And similarly, if you see 4, 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So there are 3 copies of each of the block is copied. Let us say, just to see the failover of the system, let us say we will consider any one data node randomly. Let us say select this. For some reason this data node goes down. Okay, there is some hardware problem and this data node goes down. Then we will lose this, right, block 1 and block 5. But already there is a mapping that name node has. If you call this as a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the data node number 4 has gone down. So now name node will know that the block on this data node that is stored is block 1 and block 5. That mapping will be with the name node. So it will know this is gone. So what it will do is it will get the block 1 from other nodes. So block 1 is in data node 1 or data node 7. So it will get one more copy done onto whichever is the available data node. Similarly, 5 is available on data node 3 and data node 6. So it will get a copy of this into some other data node. Let us say this goes down, then it will make a copy the block 1 from data node 1 to block 5. Okay, similarly block 5 it will copy from this third to here, so that now we have the each of the blocks is copied into 3 data nodes. So now it demonstrates that by losing one node, right, we are able to easily retrieve back whatever the data that was stored on this particular data node. So it will not cause any failure. So only the failure if the complete rack goes down and all the data nodes are in the single rack, then it is a possibility that complete failure will happen. So that is a very rare. If it is a very critical application, they will be kept on different racks. HDFS safe mode. Okay. When a name node start, it enters read-only safe mode where blocks cannot be replicated or deleted. So whenever the name node starts, it will directly enter into a safe mode, which is only read-only. So there is no replications allowed, no deletion is allowed, no creation is allowed. This is just a read-only mode. So during the read only mode or the safe mode, there are some important processes are carried out by the name node. What are those processes that are carried out is number one, previous file system is reconstructed by loading fs image file into memory and replaying the edit log. I told you whenever the name node starts, okay, it will get into the safe mode, that is read only mode. No changes are allowed. First thing what it will do is there is a file called as a fs image. Okay, it will load the fs image into its memory. So fs image has the state before shutting down the name node. Okay, it will take that state and it will load the memory. So the previous state when the name node was there before shutting down, that is loaded into the memory. And second thing is what, there are whatever the changes before it goes down, those would be in the edit logs. Okay, edit files. It will take those edit files and it will replay them. It will apply all those changes on top of this memory. So whatever first it will load fs image, on top of that it will load this whatever the changes that are happened in the edit log, so that we will have exact state before the name node shut down. So whatever
क्लास खत्म हो क्या रे?
Okay. Uh, okay. Rohan, where did we get disconnected? What slide? Anybody? Hello? Anybody on the call? Where did we? Where did I get disconnected so that I will resume from that place? Nikita? Okay. After block replication, guys, you need to speak up. Oh, did we complete the block replication? Did we complete the? Okay. Right. Right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So safe mode. Safe mode. Whenever name node starts, okay, it will get into the safe mode. And safe mode is nothing but it is a only read only mode where replication or deletion or creation of the blocks is not allowed. So whenever name node starts, it will start as a safe mode. And there are
Sir,
certain.
can you please share the screen? It's not visible.
Sorry. Yes, I will do. Is it visible now, guys?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So whenever name node starts, it will start as a safe mode. So safe mode is the read-only mode where replication or creation of the blocks or the deletion of the blocks will not happen. There are certain important processes has to be executed as soon as the name node starts. So the first important task that is done is the reconstructing the file system image. Okay, whatever was the before it got stopped. Okay, in the earlier instance, whatever the state was there at that time of the name node, that must be reconstructed before doing any other kind of a work. So first thing that it will do that one, how to reconstruct that particular state. It is done using the two files we talked about, ms image file and the edit log files. So fs image file, as we already know, fs image file will have the a state when a name node is running. Whatever is the current state, that state information will be available in the fs image, and whatever the changes that are happening, means whatever the write operations that are happening on the data node, those information will be in the edit log. So whenever name node restarts, first what it will do is it will take this fs image and load into it, so into its memory. So complete fs image is loaded into the memory. So once it loads that into the memory, the second task is loading the edit log, so or replaying the edit log. Whatever the changes that happened will be logged into that edit file, that will be applied on top of this fs image, so that after doing the fs image file into the memory as well as replaying the edit log, the state before the name node stopped is reconstructed. Okay, before going down, maybe it is a graceful shutdown or because of some fault, whenever it goes down, fs image whenever it starts, if we load fs image and the edit log file, we will bring back to the same state when it went off. So that is the first task. First task is reconstructing the image, whatever the state when it was failed or when it stopped, that will be reconstructed. And second thing is it will wait for the data nodes to report back. Okay, it will wait until all the data nodes, not all the data nodes, it will wait until the data nodes report, so that at least one copy of the data is available. Okay, before getting out of the safe mode. What is the meaning of that is at least one copy. Already we talked about there will be multiple copies. Okay, so here we have 3 copies of each block. Whenever we start the name node, it will wait until the name node to report back so that it can do the mapping. In this case, particular case, if we have 5 nodes, that is 1 2 3 4 and 5, we will have at least one copy of the data. How this is, we have 1 2 3 4 and 5, right? Maybe if we have just 1 2 3 and 4 nodes, if they come up, at least we will have one set of a one copy of the data. So it will wait until that time. Mapping between blocks and data nodes is created by waiting for enough data nodes to register, so that at least one copy of the data is available. So it will wait until that time. And when other time when we use the safe mode is whenever there is a maintenance work. So you want to do certain maintenance work, and you don't want state of the particular name node metadata to change, then manually administrator can put the name node into the safe mode, where everything will be frozen. Everything in the sense, the state metadata of the name node will be frozen and no other operations will take care. Okay, so how to do that? That is done using this particular command, sdfs space dfs admin hyphen safe mode. If we if administrator login with the administrator credential and he issues this command, then the name node will go into a safe mode, basically read only mode. Rack awareness. Rack awareness is about the data locality, and there are 3 different levels of the data locality. One is like in a Hadoop cluster, you might have many racks. Okay, so and name node and the data nodes will be on different racks. Whenever name node is using any kind of a data node, there can be like three levels of the data nodes. One is the data that resides in a local machine, and second one is on the not on the same machine but on a different machine in the same rack, and third one is the data is available in the data node in a different rack. So these are the three different scenarios. Whenever the processing is concerned, okay, when let us say we are running some MapReduce program and we need the data, the best possible scenario is getting a data from local machine if it is available, because it will improve the performance. If it is not available in the local machine, next it will go to the machine which is on the same rack, and the last preference is given to the data which is available on the different track. So that is how the based on the data locality we can improve the performance. Whenever we are running any kind of a processing, we will go for the local machines, because that would be much faster compared to going for the other data nodes which are on the different server on the same rack or a different rack. When yarn scheduler is assigning MapReduce containers to work as a mappers, it tries to place the containers first on the local machine, then same rack, and finally another rack. So I told you about to read about the chapter 1. In chapter 1 they have given difference between Hadoop 1 and Hadoop 2. We are studying Hadoop 2. In case of a Hadoop 2, the change that are done from the Hadoop 1 is they have earlier MapReduce used to do the scheduling activity as well. So they have removed that scheduling, okay, and they have created a separate process called as yarn, yet another resource negotiator. So yarn will make sure it will take care of all the scheduling activities, and it will also assign the containers, okay, containers for the MapReduce program. And MapReduce has been removed from the core HDFS, and it has moved to a application layer. So whenever MapReduce program wants to run on the HDFS, Yarn will do the scheduling, and also it will provide the containers. And when it is selecting, Yarn is selecting the containers, first it will go for the local machine, okay, containers on the local machine. If it is not available, then it will go for the a different rack, and if it is not available there, then it will go for the another rack. So that is how with performance in mind, it will select preference will be given to containers on the local machine. Default Hadoop installation assumes all the nodes belong to the same rack. If we don't make any configurational changes, by default Hadoop will assume all the nodes are in the same rack. Okay. Name node high availability. Okay, what is high availability? As I told you, if you saw that diagram of the HDFS, name node is the one which is performing all the coordinating or managing all the activities. Okay, and we also saw if some of the data nodes goes down, name node will easily reconstruct whatever is the data on some other data node. So that is how there is no issue with the whatever the data we have on the data nodes. But the problem is if something goes wrong to the name node, okay, then we will lose the suppose if there is a hardware problem, then we will lose all the information, because whatever the state of the HDFS, it is stored in the memory of the name node, right? Even though we can reconstruct, we have the backup, but if there is definitely a time lag between the changes and the secondary name node has, so there is a possibility of losing some of the data. They, even though they will take care, they will make sure that there are redundant hardwares that are provided in the name node for additional power supply, storage guard, for having any potential problems. So the hardware, at hardware level, they make sure that they provide redundant resources so that the name node will not fail. But if name node fails, this is called as a single point failure. The whole HDFS system will collapse. To avoid that, we use the name node high availability. So in case of a name node high availability, we will have a other name nodes which will not be active. Okay. uh, in HDFS there is only one active name node. We can have another name node or a couple of name nodes. We can have two or more name nodes. It depends on the your cluster size. And those name nodes will be having the current state what the active node has, but it will not be giving any instruction to any thing. It will be just maintaining the current state. All those name nodes, they will be maintaining the current state, and they will not be active. The minute the and it will be checking the health of the name node which is active. The minute the main active name node goes down for some reason, then they bring up the alternate name nodes. For that, we use the zookeeper. So zookeeper is the one which is used for checking the high availability. Okay. Earlier, a name node was a single point of failure, and that could bring down the entire Hadoop cluster. In order to provide a true failure service for the name node high availability was implemented as a solution. So name node high availability, that is the solution that is provided so that we don't have a single point of failure. Name node hardware often employed redundant power supplies and storage to guard against such problems. So name node hardware is good enough, redundant power supplies, and some safeguards are used so that they will make sure it won't fail. But still, we need to have the high availability so that we have alternate name nodes. In name node, high availability cluster has two or more separate name node machines. Apart from the one active name node, we will have two or more other separate name node machines. Each machine is configured with exactly the same software. So these additional name nodes will be exactly same as the active name node. There is no change in the configuration or the softwares that are available in it. One in active state, other in the standby state. So only one name node will be the active and other will be in the standby state. Okay. So this is how it will be high availability design. You can say we have the active name node here. Okay. Only the active name node writes edits. So whatever the read write operations that is carried out, it will be carried out by the active name node. And whatever the edits are happening, okay, whatever the changes are happening, that will be shared with the quorum of nodes. These are called as a journal node. It will be sharing that information with these journal nodes. Okay. And these standby name nodes, they will be constantly checking with these journal nodes whatever the current state is. Okay. Whatever the current state is, it would be exactly same as the active node, because it will be referring to these edits because they are shared by the active node. And taking those changes, it will make sure that whatever the state active node has, the same state will be the maintained in the standby name node. The standby name node reads edits from the journal and also acts like a checkpoint node. Okay, it is very similar to the checkpoint. It will be maintaining the exact same state. In case of a checkpoint, what is happening? We are storing it in the file, okay, FS image file. But here it would be on the memory. So if there is any problem is this problem with this active node, immediately it will be switch over to this. So there is no lagging. So or no user will feel there is a disruption of the service. So immediately it will be switched over to the standby. And other operations, data not available, Okay, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So name node high availability, still we need more explanation here. Maybe we will continue with the name node high availability in the next class.